thinking about actually setting it. So yeah, the spot's completely wrong. So I flip too fast and then land all... okay, my laptop's died. My laptop's died. It's got foreign text on the screen now. It's got foreign text on the bloody screen.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
You see this?
I love that.
You see what I deal with? You see what I deal with?
And then you got Omid laughing at you in the
I got Omid laughing at me. My laptop's dead. Fuck this, you know. It was a bad idea from the start.
It was.
It was too. We're not doing it.
It was too.
It was too complex.
There was too much.
There was too much going on.
We've got this much space on the screen to watch.
It's all right. It's all right.
We tried.
I'm bringing you closer, people on the live. We're gonna still chat about some stuff.
We're triers here on the Omid and Kojo
But
show.
my point was, even though the execution didn't quite work out, my point was that you can get to a pretty decent level whilst like not knowing anything. Yeah. Like I landed my first triple cork before I knew anything about triple cork. Like I knew I needed to flip a bit slower so I could fit in the twists, but I just had barely, I was like, how do you even do that? I was just trying to like think, go higher, then I'll flip slower. But I wasn't thinking about where to look. I wasn't thinking about what my arms do or anything like that.
Well, compare that to gymnastics, for example. Like, it seems as though, obviously I'm not a gymnast, but from all of the gymnasts that I've spoken to and any of the training that I've seen them do, it seems as though they are always mentally 10 steps ahead of where they are physically. So they know exactly what they're going to be doing, theory-wise, before they even get to, like, the prereq. Whereas with tricking, it's kind of like everyone's just a little bit like, okay, so I'm here now and I don't know anything about the thing.
A lot of it's it's because it's more complex as well and because it's so new.
Well, yeah, but when do you think that will change? Because I think it's going to be a long time until that fully, until it's the norm.
But you don't want it to be, like, I don't think it will ever be fully like gymnastics.
No, what I mean is people, like when you're going into a trick, you have a pretty strong understanding of that trick.
Yeah, you know what you're meant to be doing.
Whereas in the first 4 years, we would get to that trick and then try and work it out. And while we're training it, we'd work it out while we were doing it. Whereas that's not really it's not going to get the best results.
Well, stuff like, I don't know, I think Kojo's Trick Lab go a long way towards that. I know when I'm teaching B-Twist, I'm already giving tips to like, I'm explaining how triple B-Twist works in a B-Twist tutorial. So it's like you kind of get, you know, you see the bigger picture a bit rather than just landing it. You kind of understand how it works more. Yeah. Like, and I think just more things like that, because that's just one collection of information, but there'll be people that see these videos and learn from them, and then they're teaching a class, and then that class knows, and then they tell other people, and just over time, I think information will just spread across tricking more. Like there'll still be people starting out who just won't know anything. Yeah. But like people in general know a lot more than they used to.
100%. I think that's why the general level is a lot higher. Well, that and also because like if you see someone doing 7 dubs, then it's a lot easier for you to think, okay, well I can do 2.
Or I can do a cork.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
whereas when cork was the pinnacle.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's much harder to learn.
Yeah. Okay, one of the topics I wanted to discuss was the correlation between being good at tricks and being crazy. Right. There's various different things that I mean by crazy. Also, look at the size of my shin on the screen.
Well, and this one. Jesus Christ. And we don't talk about it much, but Omid's shins are like, I don't know, it's like he's got these weird plates in his leg. Like, look at that. Look at that. It's unnatural.
On the live, you can't see, but they're like this thick.
Yeah, think of like a plank in a fence. That's what his shin's like.
Bloody 2x4. Yeah. But anyway, so I've noticed that generally the people that are the best all have a certain trait of crazy. Now, it's not always the same type of crazy, because some trickers will have crazy in like just general day-to-day life, but they're really good, and then they're not, I don't know, they're not the craziest when they're at the session or whatever. But then you've got the people that are just actually crazy people when they're at the session. Like Sando, for example, when he's at the session, it's like a whole performance. Yeah. And I've noticed that I think there is a correlation, but do you think you can get really good without being crazy?
Depends what you mean by good. What type of good?
Top tier.
Top tier, not top tier. How good is that?
Okay, like I'm trying to think of a good example. like the Rasmus Art, Velu kind of, although they're two good examples where they're not crazy, but Velu did have a crazy phase, and Rasmus Art is, I don't know, the way he tricks is crazy. But yeah, like that kind of level.
I think you brought this up to me before. This whole do you have to be crazy or whatever. I think just people in general are crazy. I think people who you think aren't crazy are just people you don't know. Okay. Like I just think you just know you got good at tricking. Lots of your friends are good at tricking. So your friends are all crazy. You think people who are good at tricking are crazy when really those are just the people you know. Yeah. And people in general are like that.
People are generally crazy. I forget about that. Because I don't know. I think there's definitely something to be able to like, especially in like the weirder side of tricks or the like more power stuff, you need to be able to like unleash that kind of mental thing in your head that makes you just kind of, I don't get the fury of the gods in your tricks.
Yeah.
Because you need to be calm a lot of the time, but you don't need to be like a fucking...
No, I mean, there are certain traits that help it. Like being able to kind of let loose to some extent would help with a lot of things, especially power tricks. But I don't know. I think they come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. There are some people who are very measured. Some trickers who are very boring, very careful.
Yeah. Will Coney's commented. He said,
Will Coney's is mental.
This is going to be a fun topic to discuss. He's the perfect example. Absolute lunatic.
Yeah, Will Coney's. Shout out to Will Coney's.
One of my favourite people. I love him.
Mental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sando.